LED technology screens. We're working on a pramp. We're working on a new prop for our for a new screen we're working on, and but getting into these props, I got a thing for building these little tiny houses. So what we're using today for the chimney is we're using some caulking paint, some caulking, white caulking, and that gives the chimney a more kind of a rough, uh, kind of stone texture, and that's what we're putting in right now. So we're using a bit of some caulking to give the chimney a kind of a stone effect. I can imagine if this took a couple of days, I can imagine the castle is probably going to take a good maybe hopefully not 2 weeks to complete. I'm not worried about the trim. We'll go over the trim. Definitely have to trim that up a little bit. Some things I learned as I put this first one together, that the next one I'm going to do the stucco for the chimney and everything needed ahead of time, but I'm building this as I go along. Once I get the first blueprint down, the rest of them are pretty much easy on how we have to put them together. The brick gets a little texture to it. That doesn't make a difference because you do need texture to the bricks. So we may tag the roof a little bit by accident, but We'll go back in and trim up. So far, so good. Ooh, that's gonna be a tricky spot. We're definitely gonna hit. We may hit, we may not. Oh, cool. Watch. That little corner. Walking back, I was trying to figure out the storyline for the dweller of the house. I'll come up with some kind of story for that person. Castle has to be built wall by wall. The drawbridge, because the drawbridge has a separate chamber for the drawbridge and the gate. So that's going to have to be done one piece by itself. Towers, each one of them have to be done separately, and they have to be circled. So we have to fortify our castle perfectly for any form of enemy invaders. So we have to have all the necessary things needed. Now I have to go in and I basically look at dozens and dozens of pictures of different castles and how they're built, because castles are built in so many different ways. If you notice, when you look at castles, there's not a lot of trees around them, because I have to see the enemy, where the enemy's coming from. So all that's cleared out. So I want to make sure we keep the trees away from the castle when we do it. The brushwork's fantastic. I can still get the texture off of it. I like the medieval era. That's one of my favorites. Besides the colonial, but I do like the medieval era. I wouldn't live there, but I do like that era. No, I can do without the medieval era. I'm good. I just like everything about it, but I couldn't live there in that era. What you read in history books is correct, but it's not the brutal part of it all. You have to watch dark history if you got the stomach for it. Some of it can be quite gross, especially when you get to the part about how they did surgeries. And you can see why they couldn't explain that concept to school kids. Don't even want to know about that mess. It's pretty brutal. Especially the type of weapons they had in that particular era. When they used the term getting medieval on you, they were not joking. They definitely were not joking. It's interesting that you look at the level of combat. Most likely the average citizen could sword fight or know how to work with knives. Now today it's a lost craft. But at that particular point, you had to know how to rely on your dagger or your sword for survival, because carried a musket, you only got one shot with that. So most likely it was going to be hand to hand. It's going to come down to that. So you have to know how to use a sword. Like the American Indians. The bow and arrows, spears, hatchet, very skilled. Extremely skilled fighters. Just about everyone in that tribe can handle weapons, handle a knife or an axe or an arrow. You know, today, nothing. So they have people teach classes and learn how to fight with medieval weapons. And there are people do larfing. I think it's called larfing. I forgot to quote correctly. It almost landed on me. Oh. I watch these guys, man, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Amazing skills. Amazing, amazing skills to learn that craft. And you say, well, we don't have to tend to that type of fight anymore because we're more civilized. So for us, it would be slap a clip to a weapon that can wipe out a group of people within no time at all, with no skill required. Oh, we didn't become more civilized, we became more barbaric. That's what we became. Then at that time you had a sword fight just between you and that person. You had a little battle. Now today a person can walk in with a high-powered weapon and wipe out people who have nothing to do with it. So we become more barbaric, not civilized. Medieval, yep, they had their wars. Every century had wars. Every single century had wars. As long as you had to fight for power, or more, greed, or whatever it may be, or pride, or whatever it may be, you had wars. Like that not Fifth Element, Demolition Man, where they figured out a way how to have total and complete peace, which is, peace is virtually impossible. And people get mad at me and go, oh, but you can't. No, you can't have peace. So Satan can't have peace. You'll never have it, ever. Because you have the devil. That's why. Now, if the devil didn't exist, then you wouldn't have chaos. You wouldn't have greed. You wouldn't have envy. You wouldn't have killing, you wouldn't have murder. You wouldn't have any of that. Same thing, killing, murder, the same thing, but you wouldn't have any of that. It wouldn't exist. So then you wouldn't have wars. There's no point in having wars, it's just no greed. You have wars out of jealousy. War out of power. You wouldn't have any things. So you can never have peace. You'll never have it. If all the countries got together and they decided to have no wars, nothing, you would find someone who would try to profit off of it somehow. Somebody would try to start a war to make money. War's money. What was that show called? The Lord of War. That's what it was. The Lord of War. War's money. So you'll have war either way. Now, if they do the whole VR thing, which I think is a fantastic idea, that would pretty much, we still have wars, but nobody would die in these wars because it'd be all done through games, all through VR. You know, can they turn a profit off of it? Yeah, they can. And people would tune in to watch that. I would watch that. Soldiers could become superstars if girls, their merch, stuff like that. It's like the equivalent of the Running Man without the killing. Soldiers would still have to be trained, but in a different way. So, I think that would be pretty cool. You would have so many people signing up. We'll fix that. You have so many people signing up just to participate. Like, they wouldn't even have to have a draft. It'd be overload. Because everybody would want to get in to play that game. It would have probably be one of the best simulators you ever played in your entire life. Of course, there'll be merch like crazy for the different teams. So they'd make so much money off that. They make millions and millions of dollars off of that merch. And the beautiful thing about it is, nobody gets killed. Nobody dies. Only pride. Getting your pride hurt. That's basically about it. That's the only thing. Other than that, nobody dies. I think you have more of the younger generation in there playing, of course. Oops, sorry about that. On there. I get caught up in this and I kind of forget. My bad. Like that Italian community goes, how you doing? You doing? Nobody moves, nobody gets hurt. That guy is, I mean, I'm telling you, funny dude, man. Funny dude. I like watching him. I got my sister hooked on him now. I sent her over some of the videos. She was in there crying. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. I've seen him before. He's a funny comedian. I like him. Has a kind of that Andrew Dice Clay kind of attitude. I like to watch Italian mothers try Chef Boyardee or beef or ravioli, and they're looking at it like, ugh, they eat this? They eat this? It's disgusting. How do you eat that? It's disgusting. But they got the real stuff, that's why. They got the real deal. So when you go to Italy, you have the food over there, you can't come back and eat spaghetti like you used to. It'll change your life. You get the real deal over there. When you find yourself, somebody that was over there came over here, real Italian food, you can't go back to eating anything, can't eat that food anymore you used to eat. Pizza, pasta. I'm a huge fan of pasta. Huge fan of pasta. I can't eat that pizza that's those processed tomatoes. I can't eat that. Stomach makes me sick. It has to be made by scratch. And you go in there, that guy's taking the dough and he's throwing up in the air. I gotta go to a place like that pizza, because other pizza makes me throw up. Cheap sauce. I can tell if it's cheap, makes me sick. Little Caesar, Little Caesar makes me throw up every time I eat it. Every single time. Told the next girlfriend at one time, let's go to Little Caesar, get some pizza. I can't eat that stuff. not real pizza. People get mad at me and I say, no, it's not real pizza. Find yourself a real Italian pizza parlor. You going to eat that pizza, I guarantee you won't go back to Little Caesars no more. I guarantee you that much. It's a different pizza. It's a real thing, the real deal. It's made from scratch. Little Caesars is processed. There's a difference between the two. But yeah, went in there and got that pizza, and I told her I was going to throw it up. You know, got to entertain people sometimes. They don't believe you. They think you're acting bougie. But anyway, we entertained it. I didn't get halfway into that piece before I started getting sick. Now I started filling up saliva, and you know how that one works. And next thing you know, in the bathroom, blah. Oh, I didn't know. Told you, can't eat that pizza. Pizza Hut? No. I found one place around here, only one. Out of all places in Allentown, only one place I'm going to have pizza at. One place. And I went there, I walked past, I was actually down a little far from there when I was at the apartment. But I never went in there because, you know, I only eat pizza a certain way. I was picky about my pizza. And my sister was washing some clothes and she said, hey, you want some pizza? And I was like, oh, okay. Let's get some pizza. I know I'm going to be jacked up today. And we went in there and smelled it, make me sick, because I can smell from the door, smell make me sick. And got that pizza. Now I usually get the not vegetarian pizza. What kind of vegetarian? It has white sauce on it. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. That was the best pizza I've ever had in a long time. It's hard for me to find good pizza. That's an amazing pizza. I can eat 2 larges, easy. Easy, 2 larges. Easy. That's how good that pizza is. I try not to do that, but yeah, I can easily kill 2 larges. That pizza is so good. Oh, it's so good. I had to come off of it. I stopped eating it for a couple of months. I haven't been in there for a while. And I can go back in and have some because I was doing too much. I was eating too much of it. It's good to have something when don't try to overindulge in it. Becomes an addiction after that. But anyway, yeah, that pizza was amazing. I was like, my goodness, just good, ain't it? I was like, that's fantastic. Man, that pizza was a bomb. On the moon, I like a big pizza pie. That's amore. Yeah, that pizza was amazing. Reasonable price too. The chimney's coming out real nice with a whole stucco design to it, because that's what I wanted to go for. Kind of a stucco texture to it. Gotta do the stones the same way too. We got stones in here on the wall, little stones. Gotta get them the same texture. Oops, sorry about that. Keep missing you guys. There we go. Bada bada bing, bada bada boom, bada bada. I had a couple of Italian friends. Give me some real nice places to go eat. If you like pasta, you gotta ask me that twice. I love pasta. It's a nice little place to eat. And amazing. Freaking amazing. Would have never knew. That's my house of food. I'm sitting there crying. It's amazing. It's good. I love pasta. I was going to get a place that makes it right. Especially spaghetti. Jack that up for me. I never went there and had jacked up spaghetti. I always make good spaghetti when I got there. Lasagna. Love lasagna. Unique design from everybody else. Really there. I dated a Korean. She was nice. She took me to a couple of nice Korean restaurants and stuff. I like it when they hand you a. Most likely they would think you know how to use chopsticks. They hand you a fork and a knife and like, nah, give me chopsticks. I know how to use chopsticks. Every time I went down to go to my sensei, me and my sensei were very good friends. Very, very good friends, and I would come down to his house for Sunday dinner. And they sat on the floor and everything. Everything tradition. Take your shoes off when you walk up in there. Everything tradition. Bow to that flag coming in, bow to that flag coming back out. And they eat with chopsticks. That's how I learned. Going over every Sunday. Learn to eat with chopsticks. So when they basically went to someplace, a friend of mine who worked at a jewelry store, and the people owned it, they were Koreans. And they had Korean cake. You can eat with chopsticks too. So nice. I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember that they gave me a fork. I was like, what's this for? The fork you need. I said, you got chopsticks? I want chopsticks like you guys. They gave me the chopsticks. I was like, oh, you eat with chopsticks? I said, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I could even snatch food out of your chopsticks. And my sister, she eats with chopsticks all the time. And she think I didn't know. She tried to grab something. Yeah, I took the food right out of her chopsticks. Yeah, I said, give me that. She's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I'm so good with chopsticks, I can eat cereal. I wasn't joking. I seen I was cracking a joke. She was like, yeah, we're right. I can eat cereal with them babies. I learned that Asians are impressed when you learn what they do and you learn to do it well. When you take the time and the focus to do it right. I met one of my Asian girlfriends is that I was into camouflage. Camouflage jackets, hoodies. I don't know why I had a kick for camouflage. But anyway, they had a little urban store. They had camouflage in there. I had camouflage clothes, and I was walking past in class, and I saw it in the window. I was like, oh, look at all that camouflage. So I went in there after class, had my bag on me, and I was wearing a flag that had a Korean flag on my chest. So you know where that's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be right over your heart. I've seen people wear them, and it's on the opposite. No, you don't know what you're doing. Like when the guy showed you, ask him to tie his belt. That's the first thing I do when people say they know martial arts. They tie a belt. Look me right in the eye when you do it. Never look at that belt. And straight in my eyes when you do it. You should know how to tie that belt. And there's a special way to tie them. And one guy, I gave him a belt. He was talking all this stuff like, I'm training this and training that. There you go. Tie it. Well, I'm not into that. They all have belts. Just wear all of them. Wear belts. Here, go ahead. Now the new ones they got, they Velcro on. Don't do that. You got to know how to tie those things. Because again, you go to another country, you know what I mean? Talk about it, like a little train a little bit. Show me. I'm going to ask you for first form. You can't do first form, they're going to put you in the back of the class. Now I go in, I don't know anything. I don't know a darn thing. I don't know nothing at all. I'm a beginner. Because I'm going to learn what you know. And I'm going to start at the bottom. You go in full glass, you learn nothing. You go in half glass and you learn everything. Some people let their pride get the best of them. They go in and think, oh, I know this, and no, you'll learn nothing. Go in like you know nothing and learn everything. Never had any training. They'll pick it up. You're going to show everything the way it's going to pop up. Like, You should tie your belt. You tie your belt, you're going to do it in front of the sensei, or you're going to turn around backwards. If your belt comes on loose when you're doing your form, how do you address the issue? Do you tie it in front of them, or do you turn around and tie it? I ask you questions like that. Simple, basic questions. You should know that. White belts all know that. So the answer is, you turn your back and you tie it. To tie it in front is disrespect. Turn your back, you tie, you straighten up, and then you turn back around. The one guy, he keeps taking his hands and pushing them downward. You don't push your hands downward. You bring them up to the air, and then you cross them, and then you bring it down. You don't do it where you bring them. No. What the frick are you doing? Oh my goodness. It's not by your side, it's up front. But anyway, yeah. There's certain things you learn as when you're a white belt. It's the beginning basics you learn of the whole entire thing. And I see people not even doing that. Don't know who the freak trains you at the end of the day, but they got it wrong. Any white belt will tell you that one from the door. And then the little kicks. Where are you going to hit with that? Where are you honestly going to hit with those little kicks? To the ground like that. You go doing those kicks and that person jump up and hit you right in your side. What are you going to do? You can't even block. Forget it. Just forget it. Anyway. You know what you're going to do? You're going to do those little kicks. You're going to kick you right in your thigh and throw your legs out from underneath for you. That's what we're going to do. You're jumping up all over the place. You jump, you're off balance. You jump, they kick him in the... That's it. Both legs are off the ground. You know where you're going at, right? Not in a very good position. But I think he's trolling. That's what I think. I think he's trolling. Because I sent a couple of messages like, private to us, it's kind of like you're trolling, right? And he kind of has a smiley face that popped up on the other end. I was like, okay, you're good. You're good. I ain't gonna... Hey. He got people watching him, and he collecting them like that. Hey, go ahead. Do your thing, man. Have your fun. But be careful, because you might get somebody that may not look at it that way and may look like he's like disrespecting, and you might get a real one in there that might want to fight you. So just send them that one. Just be careful. You know what I mean? Just have some fun with it, man. But I would come in with saying, look, don't take it seriously. We just have a little fun. That's basically about it. Anyway, he's just having some fun. So we got a nice and a real nice thing. That's what I was taught. Any side kick, thrust kick has to be at least, for them to approve it, has to be waist high. Has to be. And if you're doing a foot sweep or anything like that, those are going to be low kicks. That small hop, and there's a kind of a hop. When you come down on the person's kneecap. It's designed to blow the kneecap out. Well, hop kicks, they're basically for the toes and kneecaps and stuff like that. That's what they're for. But you're talking about a side kick. Side kick has to be waist high. It has to be waist high. Even white belts know that. It has to be waist high. And I see one guy on there try to throw a high kick. If your feet are positioned right, you will throw your feet from underneath you. You'll come down to your head. And that's what happened. He threw a high kick, and his feet came from underneath of him, and he came down on his head. I had a move I'd like to do is when I was walking, I wouldn't hit anybody with this, but I'm walking past somebody, I can bring my body down, bring my foot around and catch you in your face. Your head should be somewhere right by your kneecap when you pull that off. So, your two legs here, person here. This foot comes around here, strikes the person here in the face, come back around, you land here. Now I used to practice that on crates. I would stack crates up. I was only allowed to remove the top crate without disturbing the crates at the bottom. When you get to a point where you can actually hit those crates off without touching the bottom ones, without disturbing them, and you'll hit your mark every single time. And another way to practice is tennis ball. Tennis ball on a string. That's another way. When you hit the bag, you are never supposed to hold the bag. I've seen people hold the bag still. Can't do that, because your target, when you're fighting them, he's like, hold still right here, so I hit you in the face. That's not going to happen. The bag has to move with you. You have to move your body with the bag. Can't be holding the bag. I've seen them do that a couple of times, hold the bag. I was like, what are you doing? Stop holding the bag. You're not supposed to be wearing gloves. That's what the makawaki is for. Striking that makawaki over and over again. Builds up. Sorry about that. I'm working on another thing here. Builds up the tolerance for pain in your hands. Strike it over and over again and again. And yes, it's going to be painful. It's going to hurt like a mother jumper. I remember doing crunches and having somebody punch me in my stomach while I do crunches. Body's so sore when you take your shirt off, it feels like you're pulling off your skin. Go right back in, do it again tomorrow. Go right back in and do it again tomorrow. Go right back in and do it again tomorrow. They'll kick you in your chest, they'll kick you in your stomach, they'll kick you in your legs. They'll take that bamboo stick and they'll strike you over and over, again and again and again. And when you're done, you'll be able to be hit with just about anything, and you can absorb and take that pain. Build up a tolerance for pain. You have to make yourself believe that you enjoy it. It's mind over matter. Get a bit of adrenaline rush off of it. The strike me doesn't make me angrier. It makes me stronger. It gives me an adrenaline rush. Same thing like needles. People don't like needles. Needles aren't that bad. If you're afraid of the needle and you get stuck by the needle, it's going to be painful because you're going to be scared when they prick you with it. You're going to be terrified. But if you make yourself believe that you want it, it doesn't hurt. Every time they still need the same thing, they go, we're going to stick your arm for a minute. Go ahead. You can stick it, and it's a little pinch, that's it. Just like roller coasters. People are terrified of roller coasters. Roller coasters are not scary rides. They seem scary because you see them up there. Yeah, it's only a couple minutes. You're not even up there that long. They should be longer, to tell you the truth. I wish they were. But they're not that long. But it's not that scary of a ride. It really isn't. You'll laugh through that whole thing. I usually laugh through most of them because, again, it's funny as I want because I listen to everybody else. If you be quiet and you listen, you will hear everybody in there screaming their brains out, making confessions, all kinds of hilarious. And it doesn't even last that long. Before you know it, you'll just be bringing in. You're coming into the gate. That's it. I'm going again. You're crazy. Man, that was nothing. It was scary to you because you had your eyes shut the entire time. You should have opened up your eyes and witnessed that whole entire thing. That was amazing. I love roller coasters. The fun part about the roller coaster is the fear. The fear is the best part. That's the best part. If I don't fear it, I don't want to get on it because there's no point. It won't be any fun to me. But that fear, your heart racing at 100 miles an hour, the regret. Oh, the regret. And the second thought. Oh, the second thought is the best. That's the best feeling in the world. When your body is telling you, you got to get off this coaster. You got to get off this coaster. You got to get off this coaster. Oh, that's the best part. The panic is the best part. That is the fun part. That's when you know you're going to get the best out of that ride. You know it's going to be a good ride when you start panicking in there. So when you think people at the end of the day, that people that are roller coaster junkies at the end of the day, and you think we're in a calm and collect, no, we're in a freaking out. But that we're enjoying it. Because that's the best part of it all. That's the thrill of it all. It's the fear of it all. If it wasn't scary, it'd be boring. Cause I'd be like, I'm about to do my taxes up here and knit me a shirt. I'll shave when I'm up here. I'll probably sleep through half of this thing. It's boring. What's the point? I'm gonna pay money for that. You gotta be scared of it. Like to possess. Good gracious. That's a jacked up roller coaster, man. I saw that sucker when it was coming out. I was like, what the freak? A big old yellow roller coaster. Like, what the heck is that? So that we were 6 cars away from it. I still saw that thing. I was like, getting on that first. It had a warning horn on it. A warning horn. Tell you to get the freak off. Oh man, best thing ever, man. You know what the best thing about it? When your legs turn jello and you get that nervous like you made a big mistake. I know it's gonna be good, right? And the crank up is amazing. Oh my goodness, that crank. But these don't have a crank up. This one didn't have the crank up because again, Possess has a kind of a rocking back and forth kind of motion where it goes up, it's a build up, and then it spirals, and then it builds up, and then it spirals, then it builds up, and it spirals. Oh man, I freaking love it. And people screaming like, calm down, you're missing the ride. Open your eyes, enjoy, put your hands up in the air like you just don't care. You're missing the fun. All right, that was cool. Get off of it. Adrenaline rushes. Like, can't do it again now. I'll do it at night because night's pretty fun, but can't do it so many times because it gets boring. You kill the thrill. But yeah, those are easy, man. Only one I try to conquer the Flying Dutchman. That ride does not like me. I don't like that ride. The fear is there. The fear is definitely there. But I just don't like it. It doesn't work for me. We don't do Flying Dutchmans. I tried them. I will try it. I will go in and try it. Regardless, I will try it. Even though I don't like it, I will try it. But still, I come off like, no, I'm not getting back on that. Demon Drop was freaking amazing. I got on that thing 16 times. I got on the Demon Drop so many times that they told me that I couldn't get back on. I had to wait over there by the hot dog stand because I had a good idea of who was getting on till the guy changed shifts so I can get back on. Oh, that was amazing, man. That was amazing. Now you fly for a couple of seconds. So you know that you come off the seat and you fly for a couple of seconds. That's the one where they put you in and the elevator just drops out of nowhere. Boom! It comes down, it slides. For a couple of seconds, you're in the air. Oh, I like that one. That was a nice one. I did that thing over 16 times. Like, how many times you been on that thing? Over 16 times. I freaking loved it. I was trying to figure out exactly how this thing dropped and when it dropped. I couldn't get it. I couldn't time it. But I had a ball in there. Everybody else in there was screaming because they would time it. You had to wait, and they just drop it out of nowhere. Everybody be screaming. I'd be sitting there calculating, trying to figure out. Because I've done it so many times, I got bored of it. Yep, Great American Scream Machine. Been there and done that. Kingdom Come. Been there and done that already. Conquered all of those. I'm getting crying. You gotta listen to people. People are funny. Brother in there screaming like, I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna beat this. You're not gonna conquer me. You're not gonna conquer me. I was in there cracking up. Somebody in there reading the Lord's Prayer in there. Our Father, which art in heaven. Yeah, that was a jacked up roller coaster. That was a jacked up roller coaster. Other people in there just screaming their heads off. And me? Front of the cart, because that's the only where I get on. I don't get on when I get on roller coasters. I do not do the back of the cart. I get on the front. You know why? Because of the crank, man. The crank. That's the best part, man. The crank is like being on crack. That's the best part. You open the front, and that sucker's going crank, 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 crank. As the chain's pulling it up, and they do it slowly. Crank, crank, crank. Crank, your heart's going do. And I can see the people's fear in their eyes behind them, boy. They are frightened like I don't know what. But I'm up there grinning like the Grinch. We figured out how to take Whoville. I'm smiling from ear to ear because I know this is going to be good. Now, they could have the faker, which I call the faker. And the faker is the one where they have, this is what I call it. It's not called the faker, but I would call it. Where they crank it up. And then you go down this little hill, boom, and you go down. That's when it jacks a lot of people up. Because it starts up with this little hill. You cranked up, and it goes, dude, and you go, oh, that's it? But do you understand? The next one is a drop. That's what catches a lot of people off guard on that one. That's a good one. Because I know if that one has a little drop, I know there's another bigger drop behind that one. You need it because you need to, you need it for that the whole thing about the whole gravity and the physics about coasters and that drop is very important. And then you have the one that cranks up and then it drops. But then the best ones are the ones that crank up and the cart is sitting right on the very edge of it. And you can just lean down and you can see, you don't even see the track underneath of it because it's not even there because you're literally up cranking over top of it. You just see the remaining track that comes down this way. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's going to be a good one right there. Let the screaming begin. Let the confession begin. People in there confessing all kinds of stuff in there. And you got to put the rules are, if you're in the front of the cart, you got to put your hands in the air. You got to put your hands in there. Every time we do the loop upside down, hands up. Get up, take your hands off the safety bar, put them up in the air. Rhythm like you just don't care. Now, if you with my crew and my pack at the end of the day, when we finish that coaster, we hit another one. We knock them all out back to back to back. Because we don't use adrenaline high. I'm not trying to use my adrenaline. I'm not going to all of them. Then we done. We set over the day of doing the regular stuff that everybody likes to do, like the bumper cars and games and stuff like that. And then when nighttime hit, we do it all over again. Because the nighttime is amazing on a roller coaster. Yeah, some people can't do it. Ain't no big thing if you can't do a coaster. There's other things to do in there if you can't do a coaster. You got to be on a coaster. Max couldn't stand them. She didn't like them. On the other hand, I like coasters. So a lot of people can't do coasters. It's not coasters are not for everybody. Don't make you no different because you don't like a coaster. You just don't like a coaster. There's things I don't like in the amusement park either. I don't like the Flying Dutchman. I can't stand that thing. I don't like the teacups. I hate those too. Teacups make me sick as a dog. I don't know how people. I got a friend of mine who loves the teacups. Like, how do you get on that thing? You got one wheel spinning one way and the cup spinning another way and the disc is going. Oh, heck no. That's the one ride you don't sit next to when you eat because people come out here and turn into human fountains. They throw up all over the place. And that makes me sick, man. That'll mess my whole day up. My whole day will be wrecked if I ever got on any kind of ride that's spun like that. She likes it. She likes to be dizzy. Come here and get dizzy, broad. You're crazy. Yeah, no way in the world. I can't stand the teacups. The bumper cars, yeah, but the bumper cars never last long enough. The go-karts, I do those. They got a one when you ride around in a boat. I do those. The swings, heck, no. You have lost your mother-loving mind. You think I'm going to strap up to one of those swings and swing around? What if that thing pops? You'll be over in a concession stand about 8 blocks away. No, I'm good. I'll skip those. I don't do those swings. Anything swinging out with a chain on it, I'm good. So, scary houses, I've been those. I did a couple of those in Disney World. The scary houses, they weren't really all that haunting. They weren't scary. What was that castle called? Brigantine Castle. I remember the commercials for that. Brigantine Castle was down right jacked up. It was a jacked up castle. That was a scary freaking castle. I was too young to get in there. That was a jacked up. I remember the commercials for Brigantine Castle. Showed the girl going in, and then it showed her running her behind off. But I've been in a couple of really good haunted houses. But I could say there was one that actually was the best. It was the best haunted house I've ever been in my entire life. It was one of the best ones. I don't know how they did it. It was an amazing job. There's a bunch of high school kids that did it. They did it. They did the work on it, and it was an amazing job. An amazing job. Because usually I'm not going to be afraid of anything at the end of the day. You're not going to scare me. But it was timing. Timing's everything in a haunted house. You know, somebody think, ooh, that's nothing. Like, yeah, whatever, dude. Go back. Don't quit your day job. But the timing was perfection. It was beautiful. Beautiful job. And then you separating people and people getting lost. You don't know where they're at and you don't know where you're at. It was fantastic. People coming out of walls and stuff, man. They did a fantastic job. One of the beautiful things they did was they had speakers outside. So you literally thought that was the sound that was coming from the house. The minute you go in the house and you shut the door, it's quiet. Throws you way off. Now you don't even know what to expect now. That was amazing. That was amazing. So they kind of messed with your head too on top of that. But outside you hear all this sound. There was speakers near the house. So you thought all that was going on in the house. So you're like, oh man, I did not take that easy. The minute you go in the house, it's bone quiet. You're like, oh shoot, yeah. Your mind starts racing. So we had this one girl in there. She said, I'm from North Philly. I ain't afraid of nothing. This ain't nothing. I got this. I got this. I'm like, oh, she ain't got this. We get in that house, man. This huge guy came out talking about the manor. The manor, basically, the people in the house basically went mad. They went to cannibalism. They all murdered and ate each other. It's jacked up. And we get in the house, and no sooner, we didn't even get a chance to get up the stairs. There was no stairs. The stairs were propped. We get into the stairs open up, and I don't know what that thing was that came out of the stairs, but that girl balled up into the fetal position and started, couldn't stop screaming. They had to stop. They had to come out of character. She went into shock. Yeah. That would have been a chance to get out. But I didn't. I was in there with one of my ex-girlfriends and her kids, and I'm thinking, this is bad. Mind you, I was in a car accident, so I went in with a broken leg and crutches. Yeah. Broken leg and crutches in a haunted house. That was jacked up. So the guy brought us in, and they had this one room, and they had this woman sitting at the desk, and the way the strobe was flashing, that's how I learned about timing the strobe. So it makes it look like you're moving in slow motion, like you're stuttering. Oh man, she had this wedding dress on, and she was real tall, and she was walking toward us, and he kind of rushed us into the next one before she got close enough to it to touch us. So now we're scared to death, and he said, here is the dining room, and you see the family, like you just think they're mannequins, but they're not. They're all real people. And next, they start eating the food and everything, and they start opening up the trays one by one, and there's people sitting screaming back and forth. Oh man, it was insane. It was crazy insane, man. They did a fantastic job, but there was always somebody touching you. Like, I don't even thought something was touching me, and it was. There's somebody, and the wall you're leaning up against, there's holes in that wall, and people touch you a little bit. They don't know to bother you, but they touch you like your jacket or pull a little bit, and you'd be paranoid because you got somebody touching you on this side, and this crap is popping up on that side. It's all about timing and basically messing with your mind. And they did a fantastic job with it. Yeah, my people left me, by the way. They left me. So right when we got toward the dungeon area, and they were showing everything that was going on in the dungeon area, and the people screaming and inside the gate and everything. It was just messed up. And they squeezed it in so close that these people were right up on top of you. And as I'm running through and they're screaming, I look at my people that left me. They left me out there. They left me inside with the crutches. I'm like, these people, at the end of the day, left me. So we get outside. It's foggy now. Up front wasn't foggy. No fog at all. And you couldn't even see it in the back, like there was no fog. When you get outside, it's foggy. So what the freak is going on? Because 1 minute it was foggy, now it's foggy, now we're outside. Now these tombstones, and things are coming out of the tombstone, and the bodies are coming to life. Oh man, I was like, what the break? And I get around the corner, and this thing's running in the back of the woods, looking at me, and screaming and yelling in the back of the woods. I did a good job with it. So by the time I got up to where the truck was at, they were already in the truck. I said, yeah, I cursed them out. I said, you gotta be kidding me. I had all crutches. Now one of y'all all, that was real scenario, I would have died out there. And my ex was talking about, no, you understand my situation. She said, I got halfway. She left her kids. Her kids were like, they're older. She left her kids behind because they were like, mom left us. She left us. She said, I got around the corner, this wolf man jumped out right in front of me. She said, I took off. That was it. I was like, nick some kids. But she said the curse word. She said, man, she said it right in front of her kids. We was in there crying. I said, man, that wolf man jumped out like blink them kids. Took off running. I was like, oh, y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. It left me. Oh, it's messed up. They made it probably a little easier on me because I had a crutch. But I told you, like, yeah, man, I did that haunted house, man. The haunted house was the truth. Her daughter went to the school. That's how we found out about it. Her daughter went to the girls' school. And those are the ones that did it. They did an amazing job on that. But anyway, yeah. I said, man, yeah, I did that. When we met up with their family, because their family was asking us how was a haunted house, I said, yo, if you got freaking respiratory issues or you got like a bad heart, I wouldn't advise you going up in there. If you're pregnant, don't even bother with it. Don't go up in there. I said, yo, she said, you did it? I said, yeah, I did it with crutches on. And she left me. She left me and the kids left me. And they were like, Mommy left us. Mommy's exact words in the car. They couldn't say it. I said, yeah, she said blank them kids. Oh, man, that was fun. It was fun. We had a great time. The haunted hayride, something else, too. Did that one, too. That's when they run up in the woods. Yep. Now, that stuff couldn't bother me at all, period. But I wouldn't be in a place with that anyway. But it still wouldn't bother me. The stuff they have today, time is bad. The time is really bad. Jumping, I go, oh! I'm like, why are you trying to do your job at the end of the day? So I'll play along with it. Ah! But yeah, timing is everything. I know they do their job. They do. They do a good job. I'm not saying that they're corny or anything, but I just don't. I come from old school, so there's a difference between y'all horror. Well, y'all, everybody in this room should be from my era, hopefully. Our horror movies were far more jacked up than y'all's. We had the worst jacked. We had the worst. The '70s. I think some roughly. Yeah, the '70s movies were jacked up. We had the messed up ones. We had the ones that leave you nightmares, give your kids nightmares. You don't even have kids yet, and your kids will have nightmares off your nightmares. So I jacked up those were. So the original horrors came from that era. You ever seen a movie called Salem's Lot? Man, to this day, man, it must be one of the worst vampire movies I've ever seen in my entire life. As an adult, I still can't watch it. It was that scary. A friend of mine over at City Hall, she's a huge vampire fiend, and she said, man, I couldn't sleep. That movie is messed up. She said, I got this. I watch all kinds of freaking vampire movies. Okay, I warned you. I mean, you're going to get jacked up. I got this. I went to go see it next to House of Movies. I can't even sleep. Like, I literally can't sleep. I got my lights on there. I told you. Told you. Sleeping with your lights on. Your Bible in your hand. Oh, man, that came out nice with the whole step thing. Look at that. Adding up the sucker. We still got to go back over with the and glow in the dark white. But I'm thinking about doing these differently because the white don't shine too well. So I'm thinking about just going in and doing a different color. But I just want the texture. It's not for the white, it's for the texture. We need the texture of the stones to look more realistic. My brother's like, you're doing all this for a screen? Well, yeah, it's all for a screen. But now I got a kick for these things, to develop in these little houses now. I want to do more of these. My sister, she was looking at it, she's like, you do Christmas Village? Yeah, we do a Christmas Village. I can do a Christmas Village, it's no problem. So she wants me to do a Christmas castle for her, so I'm going to do a Christmas castle. I'm going to do Santa's workshop. Yep. She had to make a snowman, look real, like a little snowman. You have to go on, happy birthday! Thumpity, thump, thump, thumpity, thump, thump, look at Frosty go. Thumpity, thump, thump, thumpity, thump, thump, over the hills he goes. Whoopsie, ooh, he fell from my house. Do, 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 do. These are stones. That's why I didn't paint them yet, because they're cobblestones. I'm going to get a little more texture before we put them in. I don't even know what holiday it is anymore, to tell you the truth, honestly, I really don't. Stores put out decorations so fast, I don't even know anymore. I want the freaking Family Dollar. Family Dollar got Christmas stuff out already. Like, where the freak did Halloween go that fast? There's no Halloween stuff in there now. They put the Halloween stuff up so fast. I remember when I was a kid, you knew it was Halloween, man. So little commercials come on for the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. You know, Disney would get ready to set up for that Ebenezer Scrooge. Cartoon version, of course. And then got the autumn leaves, man. We didn't get it in October. Mostly, yeah, October, yeah, but mostly September when everything started to fall. Even the seasons don't even kick right anymore. But yep. And then right when October would kick in, oh, I gotta get that. I gotta dab that, fix that. Right when October would kick in, you would go to Woolworths. That's what it was when I was coming up. It wasn't. We didn't go to Kmart much, but it was Woolworths when I was a kid coming up. And you go in there and you would just see the tons. Near Halloween, getting near Halloween, I would say probably October the 5th, October the 6th, in that time, you would start seeing the stores stocking up on those costumes and the masks and the candy and everything. You know, not October, you see freaking Christmas decorations out. Like, why are we seeing Christmas decorations in October? So, yeah. Are we painting this purple anyway? Or we are painting this purple, so it really don't make a difference. Because we gotta put in our glow in the dark purple on that. So we did go with anyway, purple. But anyway, yep. Now you don't even know. You don't even know anymore. It's hot seasons anymore because they put things out so fast. Everybody puts things out too fast. To ask me at a cold heart, do 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 do. We had a real burning fireplace when I lived in Delaware. I lived in Newark, Delaware, in the suburb area. We had a real burning fireplace when I was a kid. It's nothing like it. And then we had another fireplace. That was an interesting house. The house had a drop living room. When you come in through the front door, you would walk in, and 12 feet from the door, right on the slant, would be the fireplace. Off the side of the fireplace, you walk over, you'd have the dining room there, and then the next room was the kitchen. Kitchen was pantry. We had a big backyard. And then from there, if you walk back through the pantry into the kitchen, go over to the left, you walk right down into the basement. The basement would go up the stairs. It would lead to the back alleyway, which wasn't an alleyway. It was actually like the back of your house. Right there, right across from there was the next door neighbor. Go back down the stairs, go back up and into the kitchen, walk over, and we had this little area in there, it's a little nook in there where you would put storage like coats and jackets in that little section. Had a little under area under the staircase, and the staircase bottom, it was rounded off, went around to a nice curve, where the stairs went up and they turned over and they went up. But before, when you got to that curve area, there were two more stairs that dropped into the living room. The living room was a drop living room. And in the living room, you had a huge bay window. We had a big bay window there that you could see across the street. See the neighbor's house, and the next door neighbor was a huge bay window. And in there, we had another fireplace. That fireplace wasn't there. We never burned that fireplace. It's like a showpiece. So that's where we're allowed to hang our stockings at. And every year, we hung a tree right there in that corner. Every single year. Now you go up the stairs, go up the two stairs that come out of the drop living room, and you would see the stairs right next to it. You'd walk up those stairs and you would turn and walk up again, and there would be one room there. That was a master bedroom, two master bedrooms. One room there. The next room would be another master bedroom. And then you would cut over and you would have the bathroom. There'd be a wall there first, and then you'd hit the bathroom. And then from the bathroom, you would have another room here, because there was another large room. The rooms were large in those houses in Delaware. Another large room there. And then you cut over again, just a little bit over, and there'd be another room right there. That's where my mother's room was. And then when you move over just a little bit more, there was a door there. And you'd open it up, and those doors would lead upstairs to the attic. And the attic was fully furnished. Like, it was fully done. My mother had the whole attic done. And that's where my brother lived, up there in the attic. and it had these. It was arched up the top and a small window in the front. Yep. I remember I knew that whole house. Been there for years. Yep. Do remember that. So when I would leave out, come down the stairs, see the fireplace, about a good 12 feet up would be the door, and then go out the door. We had a big, large porch next to a dogwood tree. Go down the stairs and go play out with my friends. Yep. And I lived roughly about, let's see, 2 blocks. Too long. The blocks were pretty long. The blocks in Delaware were pretty long. They're long blocks. But I lived 2 long blocks away from the school, and I was late every freaking day. Every day. My teacher was like, "How the freak are you late every day?" She could walk to my house. She go to my house, and she said, "He is late every day for school." And my mom get me up. She get me up and get ready. Older brothers and sisters had already left. And I wasn't too far from the school. I can walk up there. Like, the neighborhood wasn't like that. You really didn't have to worry about disappearing. That was rare someone would disappear. And it was a tight-knit community. Everybody knew everybody up there. So, they see me every day walking up to the school. Everybody watched everybody going back and forth. We never had any problems like that in the neighborhood. We even had a motorcycle gang. They were in the house, and they were very polite, very nice. They came out there with their cool bikes, and they lined up one by one. We just got to look at their Harley Davidsons, and they were very polite, very nice. They had the house over there with no parties. They didn't carry a drink. They went over there and chilled, and went out there and drank a couple of beers, and then they all took off. I can't tell you the name of the gang, but it's a famous gang. It's a well-known gang. But anyway, they were very, very nice. They came out there, and we got a chance to look at all the bikes they had. The bikes were beautiful Harley Davidsons. Never forget those bikes. Shoppers, all types of different bikes and everything. Nice. Someone would come up and ram up the engine and stuff like that. So they were real nice. So, we go out there and we check out the bikes and stuff like that when they come in. But they weren't there like every day. They were going for like months at a time, but they would pop up here and there. So they had a house over there. And then I was late every day. The reason I was late, my mom would go to when I was a nurse. She went to work. And it was up to the oldest ones to make sure we got to school. But we're like only about 2 blocks from school out. We left. And they drove, they went to their high school or whatever. Where they went, I can't remember where they went to high school at. I do remember, I'm not going to say on camera, but they went to high school and, did their thing. And I walked to school. But remember, no one was in the house. So, after they lock up, I knew how to get back into the house. So I would go and watch cartoons. So I'm watching cartoons and eating cereal and carrying on. And look up and like, oh, shoot, I'm late for school. That's how I was late every time. I was going there and watch cartoons. Have fun. Because you figure, worse than the kid that lived across the street. He was late every day too. But that's what happens when you live right next to the school. Of course you're going to be late. You live across from the school. You're going to be like, man, I can get there. I'm right across the street. And look up and time flies right from you. But when you live a distance, you got no choice but to be up early and be on time. Because you're a distance. You're going to be late. So, yeah, I was late every day. Every day I was late. My teacher got so mad. She said, I'm sick and tired. You come here every single day late. What the heck? And then she said, she walked to my house. She didn't go to my house. She walked to my house to figure out how far I lived from the school. And she walked to my house. And she said, Mr. Bird. I was like, yeah. She said, oh, you mean to tell me you live 2 blocks from the school? I said, yeah. She said, I walked there. I walked to where your house is at. You're 2 blocks. That's it. How are you late every single day? Of course, my mom found out. I got my butt kicked for it. I got no punishment. Got my butt kicked for it. And then she said, I got him up. How you late and I get you up? And she's screaming at my brothers and sisters over like, you making sure you get to school? Or you making sure? And then after that, all that stopped because then they would drive me to school. And they were mad at me at the end because they had things they wanted to meet up with people too, and they had to drive me to school. They were ticked off. You're 2 blocks. 2 blocks. Yep. Little freaking gremlins. No, it was that one. I'm always getting in trouble. It's bad when you go back to your old neighborhood and they go, I can't tell you my family nickname, but anyway, they were like, oh my goodness, I remember you. Ornery as cat dirt. I'm like, gee, I'm older than that. Gee, what, cat dirt? You know how jacked up that is when someone says you're bad as cat dirt? What the freak did I do? What didn't you do? Yeah, what didn't I do? That was definitely the question. I was a mischief kid. I was considered to be the Black Dennis Menace of the neighborhood. That was something else. I didn't get in that kind of trouble. I got in mischief trouble. Yeah, that kind of stuff. I don't know how my mother put up with me at the end of the day. So, my goodness. Yeah, since you laugh when we get older, like, yeah, he was different. He was definitely different. You're always up to mischief. When I was 8 years old, I figured out how to make a pipe bomb from a friend of mine who taught me how to do it. Yep, because we had a mailbox that wouldn't go up. Now, when you get older, now you don't know how to go up your mailbox, right? But when we was young at the end of the day, we used to use a baseball bat, take up your mailbox. Go behind a bike, my buddy on the back of the bike, and swing and take out your mailbox. And I told you, we're a mischief. But anyway, the neighbor a little farther up had one of them cast iron mailboxes. Oh, you could beat on that thing all day long. Couldn't do any more damage to my baseball bat than that. So my buddy was like, we're going to have to blow it up. Now, his brother was in the military. We didn't have that type. His brother taught him how to make a pipe bomb. And he's like, because mine, we're kids, we don't know much. He said, we're gonna have to blow it up. I said, we don't have explosives. Says, I know where to get them from. Because his brother had gunpowder and all that stuff. You know, he liked to make his own rockets and stuff. And he showed him one day how to make a pipe bomb. He came in drunk one day. He said, how you learn all this? He came in drunk one time. He showed me how to make a pipe bomb. We made a pipe bomb. Man, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for that tree, we'd have been gone. Because, man, that thing went up. I was thinking that it wasn't a lot. It wasn't enough because we didn't have enough gunpowder. But it did crack it open like a walnut. But, man, if we had packed that thing, we could have took that house up easily by accident. And we could have hurt somebody. We could have killed ourselves in the process. You know, just some dumb stuff you do when you're kids. But anyway, yeah, we cracked it. We cracked that thing wide open, man. But other than that, man, that crater it left around it, man, yeah. How much about a quarter stick? You would say a quarter stick when we packed that thing for the pipe bomb, about a quarter stick. Yep. And then we look at the tree, because I heard the tree go boom, 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 like something smacking the tree. It was the shrapnel that was coming from that cast iron mailbox that exploded in multiple pieces. At that particular section where the blast came off, they stuck right in the tree. So if we had sat there and watched that, we'd all gotten killed. We'd have been hit by shrapnel. We'd easily been killed. See? Dumb stuff you do when you're kids. That's some dumb stuff we did. Yep. To this day, when I tell this story to my mother, they're like, you did what? Like, yeah. And the kids taught us how to make one. 8 years old. How to make a pipe bomb. And his brother showed me to do it. His brother came home drunk. Like, you want to learn something? I'm sure how to make a pipe bomb. And you see why I would be terrified to have kids. You see your kids come out just like you. Your firstborns sometimes. It's kind of a way of you karma paying you back for how you treated your mother or your father. So your first child always comes out just like you, your spitting image. Now you got to deal with that at the end of the day. I remember my sister, boy, she was the person who ran out, did what she wanted to do, party, whatever, blah, 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 blah. When she got pregnant, she was crying on the table like, oh, please tell me it's not a girl. If it's not a girl, she was crying. She didn't want a girl so badly. Because my sister was a hot mess. I got 5 sisters. But she was a hot mess. And man, she did not want a girl. If she had a girl, she'd have had a lot of problems. Because the boy came out exactly like her. You don't get skipped by that. Just because the boy don't get skipped, he gave her the same problems. Running out in the street, carrying on. She couldn't control her. She was sitting there calling my mom up, telling me, I don't know what to do. Like, he out in the street somewhere, I don't know where he at. My mom was like, that's what you did to me. I had to get dressed and run all over North Philadelphia to find you behind, because you're going to be out there running around. She said, look, you're going to have to just pray on it. That's what you're going to have to do. That's karma. But she didn't want a girl. And then turn around and she got a girl. Which is interesting, the girl is the opposite of her. So she paid for it to the boy. The girl's different. She listens, she pays attention, you know what I mean? She gets good grades and stuff. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's funny. She's you and what you should have been when you were carrying on and getting in trouble. You know, me have one? Man, no, 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 no. The world would be a much better place if I didn't reproduce. You had no idea. No idea. No freaking idea. You would not want that kid living next to you. You wouldn't want him living next to you. No, you wouldn't. Like your own kid, yeah, you wouldn't want him living next to you. No. You're missing tires and everything. So we figured out how to work an Allen wrench. Or we call it the tire wrench. You'll be missing your tires. Figure out how to use a jack. You know, take the tires off the car. I was the kind of person that could take things apart. When I'm thinking about it now, when I get older, like, gee, where's Louise? What the fuck was I thinking as a kid? As a kid, I did crazy stuff. I remember there was a dumpster in front of a car, and there was a refrigerator in there. The refrigerator was tilting just on the edge. And my friends got the idea of pushing the refrigerator a little bit farther up, so we can get it into this embankment to get it up high enough because we wanted to take the refrigerator. You know, a little bit, so we wanted the refrigerator. And right next to the refrigerator was a classic Mustang. Just where the refrigerator ended up at. From a Mustang. Then hit the hood and shattered the window. Took off running. No, I'm going to kick somebody's butt, right? There you go. You're destructive. Very destructive kids. Just missed them. Always up to something. Always up to something. Trash day. Take the trash cans in. But be careful, might be a beehive in there waiting for you. You've done that too. Find a beehive, figure out how to get it off the tree, put it into a plastic bag, and drop it in your trash can. Mix it. So, yeah, we're the Dennis Menace of the neighborhood. There's millions of the kids. I had 2 black friends, 1 Italian, and 1 was Irish. Always in trouble. I remember one time we found a sledgehammer, a mini sledgehammer, and my buddies followed the construction. We decided to take it up on the Delaware Bridge and start tearing the bridge up and dropping, we really did it, dropping bricks down on vehicles. I told you, destructive kids. We were destructive kids. And my mom did everything in her power. She did. I was just a very destructive child. Now, we got caught. Well, we definitely got caught. Delaware has Mounties. They have police officers. Now, then, at that particular time, nobody got hurt at all, period. But somebody could have gotten hurt. When you get older, you think about it. I could have killed somebody. Somebody didn't get hurt. Somebody could have gotten hurt. But yeah, I remember seeing these, looking down and seeing the Mounties coming up at the guys on the horse, coming up the side of the hill. So I took off one way, he took off the other way. And that's, you know, I started seeing his figure coming toward me because I already got caught. I already got me, had me by my shirt, and he was, you know, walking me through. And they put me out in a police car, went out to my parents. My mom was ticked. Oh, she was ticked. She was so angry, she was shaking. She wasn't even talking. You know it's bad when they don't talk. When they don't talk and she just shaking, you know get messed up. Man. She said, that's it. Now then, you know, she didn't have to pay anything. At that particular time, the parents didn't pay nothing. And we got a warning. That was basically about it. It could have been worse than that. We could throw some juvenile things would happen, but it didn't happen that way. My mom was so mad she was speaking for 2 days. I know it was bad. It was going to be really bad. And this was right near summer vacation was coming up. And she came in the room, she said, this is what's going to happen. I'm not going to beat you, but ain't no point. Every time I beat you, you'll go back and do the same thing all over again. You never learn. For summer vacation, you would do nothing. You would go to your room and you would do nothing. Now, mind you, from a family of 10, we had dessert every single day. Every day we did. And I'm a sugarholic. That hurt. That's when she figured out how to hurt me. Sugar. I lost sugar for 2 months. Because our vacation for some was all longer. 2 months. And you know when you're on punishment, everything pops up, man. All the good stuff pop up. You can have a day where you don't have any punishment. Nothing happens. But the day you're on punishment, They want the Wildwood. They want the Great Adventure. They did all this stuff. They did this. They did that. You know what I mean? Then my grandmother was coming down constantly all the time, more than she usually does. And my mom stuck to her guns because usually she would break because she always wanted to do something nice for her kid, but she didn't break on this one. Oh, she stuck to it, man. That was the worst summer of my life. And every time we got ready to eat, ate my food, and then she would bring out the treats, and she said, "You know the deal." And I would go upstairs. They get my share. Oh man, for 2 months I went through that, and after that, never got in trouble again. Everybody got a weak spot. Beat me wasn't going to do any good. You beat me, I'll take that pain. I'm going to do it again the next day. You beat me, I'll keep doing it. You can't kill me. At the end of the day, I'm just going to keep doing it. But you took away my sugar, something that I value more than anything in the world, that did it. It was enough. Got no trouble after that. And just when she figured out was the sweets. That's what my weak spot was. And she can tell me, "Yeah, you better get school. You're going to miss dessert for the next 3 days." Oh, no. Straight A. Go get them grades up. And take away my sweets. Never. I love my sugar. I love my sugar. Did I buy any sugar today? Oh. No sugar. I don't need anything anyway. I eat too much. When you get older, you don't eat it as much anymore. You still crave it, but you don't. Which is weird, because when you're your kid at the end of the day, you tell yourself that, man, when I become an adult, I'm gonna buy a whole big giant container of freaking candy. I'm gonna buy as much as I want because I got the money to buy what I want, and then you realize that you will never do that. Because you got bills and expenses and everything else pop up. And then all of a sudden your body changes because you really don't eat as much sugar as you used to. But I don't know sugar that much. Like a bag of candy, I could kill off a bag of candy when I was a kid just like that. Now today, 1 or 2 pieces and that's it and I'm done. Probably won't touch that bag until tomorrow. Oh, that changes. That's the cool thing about life at the end of the day. When you don't have the money, you have the appetite. And when you don't have the money, you have the appetite. And when you have the money, you don't have the appetite. I'm gonna get as much as I want because I'm gonna have my own money. I remember saying to my mother one time, I wanted more sugar, and she said, "That's all you get because you eat too much as it is, and you're gonna mess around and get diabetes. You keep eating all that sugar." And I was like, when I get old enough, I'm gonna buy all the candy I want. I can eat as much as I want. The cruel fate of life. You finally do get all that candy, like, I don't need that. I'm at 1, 2 pieces, and that's it. I'm good. It's just there for decoration. I can never understand when I go over to someone's house and they have this big bowl of mints, star mints. Like, wow, you don't eat all that candy? Get all that candy over there. You eat all that candy? It's a lot of candy. And then you get older, you do the same thing. Like, no, it's just for decoration. I don't really need that stuff anymore. Yeah, because you get older. We gotta get this to dry. So I'm done this. I have my nice little talk in here. My nice little talk while I work. That's what I do. We're going to talk about this and talk about that. Oh, we put our cottage together. And Doug. Alright, I got to fix my little add-ons right there. Anyway. Yep, little trip down memory lane. Little trip down memory lane. Broke my heart when he left Delaware. And I came to Philadelphia. That's a lot of pain, you know that, for a kid? Adults don't realize that when your kids have to leave the neighborhood that they grew up in and they got to go to a whole new place, that separation pain is very painful. I still remember it. When you get to the new place, you feel like you're lost. And you wish Close your eyes and be back where you used to be at. You can't go back. You're not there anymore. You look up at the sky and try to figure out where it may be at. And you can't find it because it's no longer there anymore. And the crazy thing about it is you miss it every single day. You miss your friends, everything, every single day. As you get older, you just don't go back to visit anymore. So now your new life is there, and that's your old life. That's what you realize. Everything's changed for you now. That world doesn't even exist for you anymore. Now some people can go back. Some people have done. They can go back. I couldn't go back. It all changed. It wasn't my world anymore. I'm usually the type of person that can't go backwards. I have to go forward on everything. So once I pass that situation, I never go back to that place ever again. It's in the past. All friends that were in that era don't even exist anymore. I'm not saying that I'm better, because I'm not. That world doesn't exist in me anymore. I've moved on. I mentally block things out of my head. That's where that comes in at. Some people, when they don't want to deal with things, they mentally block things out where they don't exist. And that's what I do. I can lock things out where you don't even exist anymore. And that's one of the things I do like about myself at the end of the day, that I don't have to worry about suffering from pain from missing people, because I can block you out as if you don't even exist anymore. It's called a mental block. Learn to use it to an advantage point. Some people call it burning a bridge. But now people get in relationships and they have to keep coming back to that person because they missed the longing to be that person. I don't have that function. So once I reach a certain point and I'm fed up with you, I can lock you out of my head. You don't exist anymore to me. And I move on and go from there. That's what I like about that part of me. So I had girlfriends say, "Oh, you'll come back." Oh, no, I won't. Because once you leave, you're locked out of my head. That's it. You don't exist anymore. The healing process is erasing your memory. It's a faster process of forgetting something. I've never been that type to call back and ask somebody back. No, we don't do that. We got what you call a backbone. We was born with that. Some people don't have them. Some people take that abuse and keep on taking that abuse. I'm like, how? I can't be around people like that. We can't be your friend. I can't be your friend. I told you I can't be around people like that. I gotta respect my friends. At the end of the day, I can't do it. I'm sorry, buddy. You gotta go. Yeah, I know it's been fun. We've been good friends and all, but you gotta go. Can't deal with that mess. No. Because I can't watch the abuse and that nonsense. And please don't explain your life to me. Please. Don't do that. That'll wreck our friendship. You go, well, I'm trying. We're going to work it through. Why are you having this conversation with me? See, I got my own little world, man. I got my own zone. I like to be left alone in my nice little zone. No problems, no complications, no headaches, no arguments. No disagreements, no mental stress. None of that doesn't exist in my world. I have a happy world. And you want to take your nonsense and bring it in my world. I don't want that. See, I've learned in the 5 years of my process, I learned from things in life that nothing on this earth is worth that nightmare. Nothing at all is worth it. It's not worth it. I don't care how beautiful you are. I don't care how much money I don't care. It's not worth the nightmare. It's just not worth it. I'm good. I am king of my castle at the end of the day, and it stays that way. Once you get that emotionally wrapped up into a person, oh, you're in. You're in it. Anything they do, they can disrupt your whole day. That's what I realized when I'm basing, worked hard, got a nice house at the end of the day. You can make it look. Spend all the money, make it look nice, beautiful, whatever. But man, if you're living with somebody that ain't neither one of y'all really get along with each other, they can make that entire place seem like a freaking nightmare, like a HE double hockey sticks. Can't be happy in the place you built. Yep. And then emotionally, since they're attached to you, and you're attached to them, they can change the outcome of your life. You can wake up in the morning, be the happiest person in the world. They could do something completely drastic and wreck your entire day. Because you'd be mad thinking about them all day. No, that's just too dangerous, man. For someone to have that much. See, when people are in long-term relationships and they figure that they can separate, you can't separate. That'd be like the equivalent of someone tearing off your arm. You can't do that. There'd be so much pain involved in that. And the more time you invest in that person, the more pain you will suffer. And you're in. And that's why I protect myself at the end of the day, to make sure I never cross that line, because, again, no, you're not getting caught up in that one again. Heck no. No way in the world. So, never going to happen. I got myself back to normal. I told myself, right, when I get myself back to normal, and I don't have any emotions or feelings anymore in that light, that I'm never going back. And I'm never going back. And I started finding these people on YouTube about the single life. People who have basically decided to be to themselves and be left alone and not want to be bothered with. And I'm like, I like these people. These are my type of people. So yeah. Now they try to warn people that before you get into that relationship, you're already in that relationship, you're in that relationship. But people that are thinking about it, just don't. Better off by yourself. You know, some people need that in life. They need to have somebody that they can take care of. Nah, I'm good. I don't want anybody else's problems. Now, see, I can sit here and do a little artwork here, not be bothered with. This is called peace of mind, people. This is peace of mind. Instead of you trying to do your artwork and you're angry and upset and bitter because something that person did to you. You don't have peace of mind. You got chaos and you got HE double hockey sticks. That's what I realized when I was going through that turmoil, that mess. That I can be sitting here doing this, but I'm not happy because I got somebody in the next room that ticked me off so badly, I can't even enjoy this anymore because I'm full of anger and rage. Not worth it. Nope. So when I talk to women, they say, well, no, ain't worth it. Ain't even worth it. The fact that I can do here and feel nothing, peace of mind, no one disrupting my world, it's worth more than gold. It's worth more than anything on this planet. So I couldn't care at the end of the day. You can look like a freaking hourglass bombshell within the day. I don't care. You can be, I don't care. That peace of mind is priceless. You have no idea. And when you have enough, you're done with enough crap on this planet from people, you will realize how precious it is. No more freaking headaches. No more detachments, nothing. You will realize it. Peace of mind is gold, man. It's gold. Come and disrupt my world. Heck no. Now, those in a relationship, I hope it works out for you. I really do. I don't wish anything bad on you. I hope it works out for you. I hope it all works out for you. But for me personally, heck no. I'm out. I'm staying out. I'm never, ever getting back into that ever again. And it's enjoyment of telling women this at the end of the day. I tell them, no, I'm good. I don't want to be bothered with it. It's a big headache to me. I'm done with it. You know what I mean? I like the way it is and be left alone. You know, you see things differently. That when I talk to women, and sometimes women have a bit of what they call a lure. Or, you know what I mean, they move their hair around a little bit, or lick their lips a little bit, you know what I mean? Or, do little things like that, get your attention. That don't work on me, because I don't care. I got peace of mind. It's worth more than anything you have. You have nothing to give to me at all, not a thing. I literally have a t-shirt that says, you have no future with me. I love that shirt. Because you don't have one. I would never, ever in a million years, never, ever jeopardize my peace of mind. Ever. I'm happy all the time. See all this? Freedom. This is freedom, people. This is happiness. When you see a man that's divorced, and he has, you see it on Facebook, a room with a TV and a game system, and he's sleeping on the floor, that's the happiest human being on the face of the planet. He has now got true freedom. He can choose his path. Freedom. Some people, because that society did that, man. Society made it so that you had to have someone in order to be happy. You have to get married, you have to settle down, you have to get kids, all this stuff to be happy. Not true. There are people who settle down and have kids and they're happy. That's fantastic. I'm not frowning upon that. I think that's a beautiful thing. If you find someone you fall in love with, that's beautiful. But it's not for everybody. Everybody likes it that way. I'm a person who likes to be by myself. It's kind of interesting to be involved with somebody for 5 years and you're used to being by yourself. I used to have a company. That's the first person that ever lived with me in my entire life. That shows you how much I like to be by myself. So I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's not for me. I'm the kind of person that can live out in the middle of 200 acres and not a soul out there. Just me and the animals. That's it. That's all I like in my life. I decided at 30 years old I didn't want kids. I never regretted that decision. I love when people say, you're going to die alone. So are you. You're going to die alone. You're not coming with you. Good. You have people around your bed when you leave. That anybody's going to have that if you got family. Well, you say you're going to die alone. You're going to go. We're not going with you. I said that to you once you got married. You're going to die alone. You planning to come with me? Oh, you're not? Then guess what? Well, technically, no, I wouldn't be dying alone. Since I'm Christian, at the end of the day, I'm going with Jesus. So now I wouldn't be going, if you're not basically, truthfully, you would be dying alone. You can have all the family around you. You can have your wife and kids and all that. You pass on to the next life, you will be going alone. Because Jesus won't be with you if you're not saved. Technically, no. I won't be dying alone. I'll be dying, yes, by myself, but next life won't be alone. I'll be with Jesus. And nobody's going with you on that trip. That's just you. We're both going at the same time. That's a different story. That's rare. But that's you. You're going by yourself. I find that funny. I started laughing when she said it. I said, you understand what you just said out of your mouth? You said, because you're mad, you said, I hope I die alone. I'm going to die alone. Are you planning to come with me in any way? Should I think about that for a minute? Are you planning to come with me? Oh, you're not. So that means I'm going alone. All right then. Good luck on that one. Bye. Oh, please. Nobody going with you. You're going to go out alone either way. That's where you end up at. Will you be? Well, you won't be alone when you end up there, because someone's going to come there to pick you up. Yeah, either God or the devil. Depending on who you served on this earth, in this world, he's going to come see pick you up. So that's how that one works. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was crazy when people say that. You're going to die alone. Yeah, you ain't going with me, right? So guess how that's going to work out. So for anyone else who watches these videos who don't know me, I talk about random stuff when I do these builds. So you know that. I talk about everything from basically to cities underwater, to history, to this, to that, and basically about Christianity and all that. I talk about everything. I'm still going to build me a city underwater. I'm going to build me a replica city underwater. Because I got something I want to study. That water, what's it called? My goodness, hydroelectric energy. I figured out how to they make these miniature turbine engines that you could buy in a hobby shop. I figured out how to power a city. Just by using the ocean. Very simple thing to do too. I'm going to build one. I'm going to build me one. I'm going to build me a little model. I'm going to power a light bulb under a dome that represents the city. Yeah. And if all that works, and it does power, and does exactly what I think it does, I'm going to build a miniature city with lights and everything. I'm going to power the entire thing. So I'm going to have the city of Atlanta sitting on my freaking desk. Yes, sirree, my friend. Yes, sirree. We're in something interesting? Vegetable oil. Vegetable oil can power parts, which I find interesting. Even if you stick your hand in there, you can't get electrocuted. So I don't want water actually making, if water leaks and gets in there, this can be catastrophic. We don't want that. But the vegetable oil can actually carry a current and still not electrocute you. So we're going to fill the tank up with vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is going to serve as water to turn the turbine. It should work perfectly fine. No problem whatsoever. So we must experiment and find out. Figure it out. That's why I like experiments. I love that. It's the best part of my day. The best part of waking up. Experiments in your cup. So yeah, I like to do experiments to figure out if that's going to work or not. Will that work? We don't know. We got to test. We got to find out. What is an electric toilet? There is an electric toilet, by the way. You know that, right? Yes, you do have electric toilets. Oh. I'm loving my artwork here. I'm loving it. Boom, 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 boom. So let me see. When do we have a date when we're going to be getting the whatchamacallit? Is this dry? Oh, I ain't even got this on here. I need to get all this dry. The best thing we can is Folgers in your cup. Folgers in your cup. Yeah. And this is supposed to be well, we all know how that works at the end of the day. It was supposed to be a simple house. But simple just doesn't work for us. It just never does. You always have to go all out. So it's supposed to be for the simple display, to put the screen up, to show how it works. And then I got to the house like, you know what, make this thing look realistic. I never built one of these things before. Just do something crazy along the way. And then boom, we just went insane and just built this crazy thing. And now we're going to build other ones, because now I want other ones now. I want a whole collection of these now. Because I want to be able to take these up and put it into a little town. That's what I want to do. And I want to build other stuff. So I want to do this castle. I got a clock tower, a medieval tavern I want to do. I want to do a gypsy wagon. I want to do a whole lot of cool stuff. And put it into all one big village. It all connects together with lights and stuff. That's later on. The best thing of waking up is Folgers in your cup. We got our little whatchamacallit right there. Walkway right there. Once all that dries up, nice, got a little texture feel to it. All right, our glow-in-the-dark paints will be here soon, and then we can start the process of making it glow. And we're gonna do the lake over there. Gonna make some fishes. I figured out how to make some little lanterns here. And I forgot to go to the park and get the wood. Oh man. All right. We're gonna go and get it. Gotta get some branches. I gotta break them up. These are good sized branches, so I have to cut them. I gotta put a stack of logs back there. Cause this guy's got a fireplace, and the wintertime is kicking in, so he has to be able to eat. And he's got plenty of fish because we got it from the Lucky River. The Lucky River, people. All right, let me see. The Lucky River. Just try it. For yesterday. I watch other people's builds at the end of the day. I'm like, what are they do? They talk about them. There's just music behind it and putting them together. That's the best I can do. But anyway, you know, just shows how easy you can put stuff together. So I made out of cardboard. This is all cardboard. Sorry, this is actually plastic. Taco Bear, what's up, Taco Bear? Taco Bear, you got hair everywhere, Taco Bear. But anyway, yeah, it's all you can make. Oh shoot, that just popped the top off of this. I did. You can make this with anything you want. It's all cardboard. But you have to use your imagination. Oh, mother grandparent. We never had that plugged in. Oh, 5%. It's a chimney. Going to go black in the chimney. The inside of course, because of the charcoal, the burning of the charcoal, and the charcoal of the charcoal. Yeah, I'm gonna make a whole bunch of these little collections for myself. And my buddy's gonna get actually I'm getting one of the castles for myself. He's gonna get the other castle. Ain't that right, Taco Bear? Taco Bear says, yep. Taco, denario, bud, Ted Rodriguez, bud. Oh, yeah, that stuff would comes up real nice. This is kind of like a heavy soot. And when I'm done this, I'm going to watch some more documentaries on the medieval time. So I was watching documentaries on the medieval time. Remember naysayer when you said that naysayers that people don't like me. They call them naysayer like yeah or nay. They always are disagreeing about stuff. They call them naysayers. But anyway, they're saying at the end of the day that you must be lonely. How would that be possible? It's impossible. I can't be. It's impossible. Virtually impossible. Impossible. Mine was a little different. I'm always building, designing, making, researching, studying, learning new things. You can't see you on camera, by the way. You're looking at yourself, you weirdo. It's my cat being weird. Nope, impossible. Impossible. I've seen a person walking around with a bunch of books, researching and studying, and people think, oh, he must be lonely. No, he's not. He's entertained with oneself. To be in this world would basically disrupt his world. It's impossible for me to be bored. I'm always working on something. The problem I have at the end of the day is shutting my brain off. I can't shut it off. And every time I turn around and building this and putting this together and putting that together, I can work on 10 different projects all at the same time. So it never shuts off. It just keeps going and going and going. At the end, it drives you funny. And there are some days I just don't want to hear the chatter anymore, so I'll go out in the park and I just stare at the scenery. Or this is an AMSR or something, to shut it off. That's what I have to do. If not, obvious, I have to have some days where I just don't think about building stuff. And just from this little thing right here, this is supposed to be designed just basically for a screen, for a display. We're going to build a whole entire house now. Then now we're going to build other houses for it. And now I want to design an entire village. And that doesn't stop there. Because the screen I want to put in basically for the see-through screen, it's going to have an entire Japanese village built behind the back of it. So virtually impossible for me to ever become bored. Impossible. There's some people that'll sit there in front of a chalkboard and they'll be embedded into mathematical equations. For them to go to parties and hang out, they don't want to. They rather be buried in that work. That's what they love. That's what they enjoy. You know what I mean? You understand me? You love that world. You love that. Most people, when they did VR, they were in VR playing games. when I had my VR system, they had a live museum that you can go into and go visit the paintings from the inside. I spent all my time in there. I rarely play games in that VR system. I was in there exploring whole new worlds. YouTube has a whole chapter on their channel for VR that allows you to go in and explore other worlds. And that's what I spent a lot of my time in there, in the bottom of the ocean, exploring unknown worlds. Tons and tons of data from scuba divers who took those GoPro cameras and recorded all types of underwater caves. I was in there watching all their data through VR. Spacewalks, all that stuff. I wasn't even interested in the games. The ability to go other places that I couldn't go. Went to libraries in other countries. I got a chance to see a lot of stuff in those VRs. Yep. You are alive. Am I alive? Am I alive? Am I alive? But I always tell people, you know what? Every time I turn the camera on, it's always something new. Always doing something new. Always building something new, making something new, designing something new. Always. Ain't that right, Taco Bear? Your hair everywhere, Taco Bear. Taco Bear. Oh, you inside your ear, scratching. Got all the hair in his ear. I got so much hair in your ear, Taco. We got a lot of hair in your ear. Got a lot of hair in his ear. I'll never get a chance to build it all. Nope. I'll never get a chance to build it all. There's enough time in life to do it all. But that's the way it is. I'm gonna live out the rest of my time building and designing, studying and researching. That's what I would be doing with my time. Not hanging out and basically a bunch of friends partying and all that. No, to myself, by myself, me and my cat, doing research. Boy, I tell you, the one thing I would want, the Lord asked me, if I wanted something interesting and impossible, I would want to hear my cat talk. Wouldn't it be cool, Taco? I want to give you immortality because that'd be jacked up. We don't want immortality because, I don't want it either. But I would give you the ability to talk. It'd be interesting. Like, we'd be doing all kinds of science projects. Or he'd be a major in math because, again, the cats are basically about physics. They know math. They add up and they jump and leap and stuff. They know physics. You come in their lab coat, like, what are we doing today? Like, well, we're going to put this together. But he'd be the perfect lab partner right there. He's watched me build everything. He knows everything that I do. Ain't that right, Taco Bear? You do know, and he knows his name. See, cats do recognize what you're saying, because if we didn't know what I was saying, he would know his name, Taco Bear. Taco Bear, Taco Bear, you got hair everywhere. They give you that sarcastic look like humans. But anyway, yes, we would be building stuff all day long. You're like a cat version of Rocket Raccoon. Is a physics, is that possible? Probably knows physics better. Cats know physics better than us. You try jumping off a roof and landing on your feet. Calculate and jump. They know physics. So they have to jump, land on their feet every single time. Isn't that pretty cool? You watch a cat jump and twist their body around and turn and land on their feet. It's crazy looking. He's my perfect lab partner. Right? I'm like, you got Taco Bear, Taco Bear. Oh, stop it. Stop it. I don't hear anything more about a Taco Bear. I got hair everywhere. Of course, I'm a cat, for goodness sakes. I have hair everywhere. I'm supposed to have hair everywhere. Why would you even say something like that? What is wrong with you? We have so much intellectual conversation. We'd have tea time. We definitely have tea time. Tea time must be punctual. And tea time, he probably be the one basically arguing with me about tea time. We'll be out there working on something like, wait a minute, I'll right back. Take off real fast, run up the hill, come back down. Like, oh, man. So what do you do? Zoomies. I gotta do it. I have no choice. Question, does the mothership talk to you? You never know. That'd be cool. Just be working on something, either hold it for a minute, right back, take off. Run all the way around, come back around. You good? Like, yeah. Zoomies. Man. Yeah, that'd be cool. So that'd be it. That's all we need. It's me, my cat, and God. That's it. And we can build all the cool stuff we want to build. With God's amazing infinity knowledge, with our love and passionate to build, me and Taco, we can build whatever we want, right? As long as the Lord allows us to build it. That's how it works. Jenny's got a gun. What did her father do? Anyway, I like Aerosmith. You don't know that. I love Aerosmith. I do. I love this song called Jade. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, again, those of you will be watching this later on, sorry about the rant, and I like to have fun when I build. I'm excited. I like to enjoy what I do at the end of the day. Some people just ignore this, annoys them, but I do what I do. I'm an artist. Am I an artist? Not really, to tell you the truth. I'm just a guy. I don't even claim to be an artist. I really don't. This is just basically for pop work. That's what it's for. We just go overboard. That's the problem. We always go overboard. We never do anything normal. Once we try to do one thing that's normal. There's one thing that's simple and plain and easy to do. I'm like, oh, great goodness, here it comes. Alright, sorry about that. Crackers and cheese. My favorite. Alright. Ordered some stuff, so Amazon's coming through. We're gonna have plenty of boxes for building. The Amazon boxes are amazing. What happens with Amazon? You know, Amazon boxes. Man, them boxes are amazing. So I'm ordering more stuff and I get more boxes. I can buy boxes from Amazon, or the boxes from Amazon, but their boxes are freaking amazing. So I'm using the boxes from Amazon to build these right here. See my cabinet system over there? All built piece by piece. Piece by piece. Each one of them. All piece by piece. Even the structure inside. All built piece by piece. I can build furniture from scratch. See? That's the thing about the naysayers in the day. I thought I needed all the poster boxes in my demonstration. No. I have the ability to build things from scratch. You don't know me. You swear up and down that you know who I am. You know everything about me. You don't know nothing about me. Not a thing. Not a thing at all. Yeah. I do a lot of things. You don't know me. You thought at the end of the day that I need just everyday big boxes to build something. I can do whatever I want at the end of the day. My brain just functions differently. I see things differently. Like this, that little cup of soup over there. See that right there? A little cup of soup over there? What do you see when you see that cup of soup? It's the empty cup. I see something completely different when I look at it. I See a mushroom? Big, huge, magic mushroom. Beautiful colors. Changes in multiple patterns. Little fairies riding all around it. Beautiful flowing lake. I see all that when I look at that cup. You can't see it. Now, some people can. People that are art people, they can see it. They have imagination. But for the naysayer, you don't have one. Your brain's blocked. You can't get outside the box. Some people are allowed to explore outside the box. You can't go there. It's not for you. Your brain's not structured for it. You know how I know? Because when I build stuff, you comment by saying, oh, that doesn't look like anything. That tells me from the door that your brain is blocked. You can't think outside the box. So you can't go there. You can't visit that world. You remind me of Kick the Can. You do. You remind me of Kick the Can. The story of Kick the Can. It was the Twilight Zone. I think it might have been New Twilight Zone that did that one. About Kick the Can. Your brains are blocked. Now you think because you think normally, like you open up a door, whatever, the power block. No, that's a different level of thinking. You can't think outside the box. Your imagination doesn't go that far. So you live in the world of practical, of more like, well, it's impossible. That's why we call you naysayer. That's where you get the nickname from. So the Kick the Can, which is actually a beautiful story about senior citizen home. And this guy just pops up out of nowhere. Old guy. He's admitted to the senior citizen home. And it's something different about this fellow than he has this kind of youthful kind of attitude. But everybody in the senior citizen home is kind of, you know, they've lost their spirit at the end of the day. They're just, you know, waiting to pass off this earth. And he's telling that there's so much more to life at the end of the day. You just have to experience it. You have to use your imagination. You have to think outside the box. There's so much out there. We have so much life. You wouldn't believe how young we are. So he starts gathering all these people up, and they start doing things like exercising more and playing more activities. He's bringing life back to them. And he says, I got this game I like to play. I play it late at night. It's called Kick the Can. How many of you want to play with me? So the ones that are actually they like this guy, they said, we want to play Kick the Can. But the interesting thing about it is that when they play Kick the Can, they turn into kids. There's something special about the guy in that can. So each one kicks the can turns into a little kid. Oh, it's hilarious. You gotta see this. It's an interesting story. So they turn into these little kids, got the same clothes on as old people, but they're kids. And he said, oh my goodness, look at me. I'm a young man again. I'm a young man. Look at my face. And he checking Joe's face. I go, wow. You know, the guy chasing the other guy, wife. Artie, get your hands off my wife. It's funny because he's a kid. So they're out there playing Kick the Can. They become young. So he says, soon, I've got a place that we're going to go to where you can be young forever, and forever we can play Kick the Can. And every night they go out there and they play Kick the Can. And these two guys were so stubborn. They didn't want to believe in the Kick the Can. They thought it was stupid. This guy was a con artist or some kind of scam or rip-off artist. That's what he thought it was. And when the last day, when they went out to go kick the can, when he was going to take them away to this faraway land, this beautiful land they were going to, they looked out the window and they saw them. They saw when the kids went by, and they knew it was one of them, but a kid. And he looked at him, his eyes were shocked, like, you know, I'm looking at this guy that's 9 years old, but he's now a kid. And he sees all of them around and looking at him like, oh my goodness, what happened? Like, you guys are so young, look what happened. They were old. He says, it's Kick the Can, Charlie. It's Kick the Can. And the guy comes out of the crowd. He's a little older, and he says, don't you want to kick the can with us? And he kicked the can over to him, and they all disappeared. So every night, those guys went out and they kicked that can. Every night. And eventually, Charlie came back. See? Gotta think outside the box, gentlemen. You miss so much in life when you don't think outside the box. Now, I'm going to build me a little enchanted village. And I hope other people at the end of the day that choose to think outside the box enjoy these videos so they have the ability to build wonderful things too. Very easy to do. A lot of people have that way of thinking. There's certain things that they see, but sometimes other things you see can spark off that imagination. That's why I look at other people's stuff that think outside the box. It sparks off new information for me. Somebody will see this and look at this and go, you know what? I'm going to try this and do a little better at that. I hope you do. I do. Keep thinking outside the box. Keep kicking the can. For me, I kick that can to the next planet. Because we like to kick the can, bang, 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 bang. I never played kick the can before. I want to do that. Bring up some of my family. Let's kick the can. All right, so we got that all set up. I can't wait till we do our enchanted lake, the lucky lake. The lucky lake pretty soon. We'll have that done. Yeah, I'd like to tell you. The castle's platform. It's going to be 18 inches. It's a good size. That one. Let me see. Yeah, gotta think outside the box. Gotta think outside the box. So, my world, I like the fairy tales of unicorns. I know they're not real, but I like unicorns and leprechauns and all that stuff, knights and dragons and all that stuff. I like that kind of stuff. Giant mushrooms with little cities in them, little towns, little houses, little cottages, all that stuff. Beautiful rolling countrysides, all that stuff. This is pretty soon going to be our night cottage. Meow. 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 Wow. Meow. Meow. Tackle. Meow. Kick the can, Charlie. Kick the can. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna watch that one again. That was a good one. Gotta think outside the box. When I first did the floor projection screen, somebody did it before me, way before I did. But I did a floor projection screen. And here come these circuits talking about, why would anyone do a floor projection? I can't think outside the box for jack. When I painted the ceiling, who would paint the ceiling? Oh my goodness, really? Okay. Apparently we don't work with projector mapping applications, that's why. That's why. But why would someone paint a... You know, that's the problem. You got a projector. You don't know how to think outside the box. And the projectors are designed to do so many different things besides project movies onto a wall. And that's how I try to figure out how to utilize my projector in different ways that we can develop stuff to use that projector in different ways. Besides just basically being able to just project on a wall and a wall only. Gotta be to think outside the box. Gotta open your mind. Like in Vogue, what was it? In Vogue, I think it was free your mind. Don't be so shallow. There you go. Gotta free your mind. Don't be so shallow. Gotta think outside the box, people. Outside the box. We live outside the box. We get our mail outside the box. So if we're outside the box, it's not even funny how outside the box we are, man. That's right, man. That is right, man. Outside the box. Where you at, Ken? Outside the box. When you coming back over? Never. Never. We like it out here. We love it. Never coming back to the box. Never! We're going to leave the box. A comedian talked about how this girl he was taking on a date opened up to him emotionally, and she talked about how her father went out to get a hamburger and never came back, and he was like, you see, I can't open up to people emotionally because I'm just not that type of person. And he's like, we got to Yelp this place. I got to figure out where he got who eats a hamburger and doesn't come back to their family. Like, how amazing is that hamburger got to be? He said, I can imagine people saying, you gotta go back, you got a family. Like, I'm never going back. I love these hamburgers. Like, how amazing is these hamburgers gotta be? And you basically just leave because the hamburgers are that amazing. Let's see. This right here. I'm even painting for Jawa. Been here for about a minute. Is that a brick or that's a brick? And it's going to be coated again with a different color. But we're just doing this for the time being because I got to cover it over so it blends in better. But it is going to be painted a different color. And it just blends better than being on that cardboard. And the color we're using is kind of a bright with a little red in it. So it's going to blend nicely with our chimney. We're kind of priming it with the color that we know it's going to work better with it than the cardboard. That's why. Now, the beautiful thing about this is there's no freaking printing. You know, some people are saying, "Oh, is that a print? Should people print?" Look, man, I don't care who you are, or you print or not. Man, I wouldn't do that with my life depended on it. That stuff is dangerous, man. I don't care. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. My buddy does it. I look at him like, man, are you mad? So you read up on it? So yeah, I read up a lot up on it. So that's why we have all these safety procedures here, because it is dangerous. That's why it has an exhaust system in there. That's why they wear full mask and the respirator units that they wear when they're in there. They're covered up when they're using those machines. He has an exhaust system for his units. And then they have it in an environment that's designed for those machines. That's designed to push plenty of airflow through there. Because, yeah, they can be dangerous. So I don't care if people are angry or not. It's your lungs at the end of the day. Heck, you want to go through that suffering at the end of the day? Feel like you got an elephant sitting on your chest 24/7? Hey, it's your life. But I would not be running one of those things in a house. No way in the world. I wouldn't even want to have that thing around my kids. The majority, most ones I've seen, they don't have them in the house. They have them somewhere else, in a workshop somewhere. I would not run that thing in the house. You know how toxic plastic is? You ever have a plastic fire in any one of these warehouses? I guarantee they'll evacuate half that neighborhood because of what's going on with that plastic. Can't be breathing that stuff, and that stuff will mess you up. I don't know how in the world they got the approval to run that into a someone's house. You have to be crazy to run that thing in there. If you never had the joy of having your lungs ripped out, you're about to find out what it feels like. I tell you, that pain can be so bad that you wish you were dead. It's that bad. I went through it. I went through having very bad lungs. It's that bad. And it's very, very, very painful. I'm so glad I don't have to go through that again, ever again. It's very, very painful. There we go. Up on the chimney, my burn, do 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 do. Let it go. Do 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 do. I'd be like, This is where we start doing the dry brush. Sorry, people. I do this when I do dry brushing. So dry brushing, you're really not putting much on your brush. This is just basically done to give you a kind of a dry brush look. So it looks more realistic. It's called dry brush. And you don't need much on your brush. The dry brush gives everything a nice, interesting detail to it. The chimneys aren't exactly all that white. And a little bit of dust on them. A little bit of soot. So you do dry brushing, less is so much more. Don't want to put too much on it. Give it kind of an old look to it. Shouldn't be doing that because I got to go back over top of them with the blowing the dark red either way. But I like to do the dry brushing. I do. I really enjoy it. Gives it a nice dirty look to it. Always remember, less is more. Less is more, people. Less is always more. And you take a little bit on your brush, and you basically take a piece of cardboard and you rub it in. And you put your left foot in, you put your right foot out. You do the hokey pokey and you take it all about. I do like doing dry brush painting. This one has some glow in there too. See that too well, but sorry about that. So I have a nice glow in the dark pattern and we're done with it. Putting that black in it to give it a little detail. detailed look to it. Dry brush in there, light dry brushing, nothing heavy. Because you still want to be your brown. You want to add some detail to the wood. Sorry about that. There we go. Gives a nice wood grain to it. People have to do this off camera a little bit. They gotta get in there. So there we go. See how we have it, grow it. That black. Let's show it the camera up. Can't really show it from there. That wood looks too normal. Okay, you have to put those shadows in there, very important. It gives a little bit of age to it. You can see that right better there. There we go. So the detail gives a little bit better age to it. That black is very important, and you have to do a dry brush with that. Very easy to do. All you're doing is just basically paint with very little paint. That's what a dry brush does. Just very little paint on your brush. You put too much on it, you basically won't be able to blend your colors right. House trim is going to be different. We're just doing the deck. The deck has a little worn out. There we go. All these banisters and stuff, I do want to do them in different colors, so I want this thing to glow very, very nicely. All right. Some glow into the chimney so it goes a little better, and brick is going to have a little glow into it also too. All right, let me see. Get on my brushes. Water. House I'm going to do in blue. No, sorry, house is going to be in purple. Because we're going to do the ocean blue, or the lake in blue. The lucky lake. It's going to be in blue. And I'm going to put a high fluorescent yellow, light trim, you won't be able to see it, around the deck and everything, deck and below. That's just for the time being. Can we change it out so it all goes nicely? It's going to be all glowing. Everything's going to glow. The roof's going to be in red. It's going to glow. I like that color for the roof. You're standing straight up over the... Oh, it got big. You got big, Taco. Remember, you were so tiny. You were so tiny. Oh, no fear. So tiny. Tiny Taco. You're such a tiny little Taco. You're such a tiny Taco. Tiny Taco. So next, the gold is coming in for that. What else is to glow in the dark? Since I'm going to be minimizing my other PC in cases, they'll both at the same time this time. Much easier to do. Smaller cases are much smaller, too big. Those were too big, way too big. Much more compact. Cases, I I have now a lot of flowers that go with the landscape. It's pretty big. I'm trying to think of the line and how to ship these things without basically, you have to go in larger boxes, but not that. That was way too big. So I have to make a smaller version of it. I think we do these girls, we're probably going to just skip the hard browse and put into things. We'll choose to take up less space. I think the next one is definitely going to be the windmill because it has the whole Russian River, the lake, the waterfall. Looking at the fish going upward, upstream. And we have the huge wheel on the side of the water. We're going to do different. One usually has a wheel on the side, we're going to do both. The wheel on the side and the wheel in front. So that's going to be really cool. Definitely working on that. Alright, well, next project is going to be, once the glow gets here, which should be tomorrow, we paint the whole entire thing with glow paint. Put the flower system in. Oh, that's going to be done. And, oh shoot, weren't you supposed to order the panels? I really forgot about that. I got to order my panels, so I can basically do the top and bottom of that, because we have to put this thing inside of a case. So yeah, and then the artwork that actually gets printed to the one side with the village, we got to bring, once up front, the light. We have to bring more to light, so we have to put wooden structures to bring it all to light, so it's actually pushing out. So that's going to be a whole other project by itself. All right, got to go. Hope you enjoy. Thank you for your time. Of course, we thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, blessing us with the ability to do so. Without Him, this would not be possible. Thank you for your time. I got to go, and God bless.